Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. I'm Zeno with Lancaster Law Firm, here to talk to you guys about when you list a manufactured home. You have a client that wants to sell a mobile home. Let's go through all the things people call them. Mobile homes, trailers, double wide, single wide, triple wide. Manufactured home is the legal term. So if you're listing a manufactured home, it can be a great deal for your seller, for your buyer, and for you. But there are extra things you need to do. Hey, Carly, all the way from Wilmington area, thanks for watching. There are things you need to know when you're going to list that home. And it's not all that complicated, but what agents get in trouble with is they just don't do it on the front end, okay? They just don't do it, or they assume things are going to be fine, and then it's always a hassle towards closing. Hey, Jake, thanks for watching. So here's some things that can happen, guys. And I want you to understand it from our perspective. Manufactured homes typically start out as personal property, just like your cars do. They have a DMV title, the red one, just like your car has. If you have a loan on your car, the lender, unlike in real estate, the lender holds onto your title, and when you pay it off, they sign off on that lien on the back of it physically and mail you the title. In North Carolina on real estate, you get a deed, it's recorded. You get a mortgage, it's recorded. You own it subject to that lien. Same thing with your car, except a lot of times in car ownership, the lender holds on to the title so that you can't sell it till they release their lien. It's the way it goes. They do the same thing a lot of times with manufactured home titles. They'll hold on to that title until it's released. That's one thing that might happen. Hey, David, thanks for watching. Another thing that might happen is that it gets canceled to real estate, or we're going to have to at closing. So if your buyer wants to convert it to real property, let's say it's a cash buyer and that's what they want, there's a process we have to go through. We have to have an affidavit signed. We have to make sure that certain things on the home are done, permanent foundation, wheels removed, stuff like that. But also you have to file a declaration of intent to affix under the statute. And you file all of that, you file that, you send the title and this affidavit to the DMV. They cancel it to real estate on their end. They say, we're no longer titling this. Real estate, you can have it. And then we file something on record saying we've done that. Poof, it's real property. If we don't find that in the public search, the title search, guess what it's not? Real property, okay? So under the statute, those two things have to be on public record for it to be real property. Hey, Jacob, thanks for watching. So what do we have to do as attorneys to certify real property? And if you're buying with a loan, it always has to be canceled to real property because mortgages don't secure. They're not a lien on personal property by definition. So for the lender to be secure in their collateral, we have to make manufactured home real property. Hey, Kimmy, good to see you again. Kimmy was a rock star earlier at our big marketing event on leveraging vendors. If you didn't get to go, you should try to make the next one. Be announcing that soon. So we have to certify them as real property. Okay, there's something we have to do. We get the serial number, the make, model, and serial number. We go to the DMV, not physically, thank goodness. We call them or reach out to them. They send us a fax. Hey, Michelle, they send us a fax. They send us a fax saying DMV information. You know, we have this. There is a DMV title out there, or it used to be, but it's canceled real estate, or we have no record of that at all. And then now this is on every manufactured home closing we do. Every manufactured home closing we do. That's why we ask for the make, model, and serial number. Because keep in mind, even if the buyer wants to keep it as personal property, well, that's great. We have to then make sure the seller actually has the DMV title so they can sign it over to the new buyer so they can take it to the DMV and get a new red title issued in their name. So 100% of the time, we have to figure out the DMV title or the manufactured home title. Okay, so you have to have make, model, and serial number. I don't know what the make, model, and serial number is. Do you? And if you don't know, how do we find out? Okay, so we have to have that to proceed. We have to have that, whether it's personal property or real property. And what happens is a good listing agent, and guys, I'm sorry if I'm insulting anyone here. Just my 2 cents. You guys can comment if you disagree, okay? But hey, Tom, thanks for watching. A good listing agent's going to get that make, model, and serial number in the listing. In the MLS listing, why not? Make, model, and serial number. Put it in the listing. Let's get it out there. And then when you send over that contract, make, model, and serial number. We can dive in on that information. And guys, if you want to check on the status before it even goes under contract, please text or call me. I would love to help with that. I would love to get us a head start on that. So when we get under contract, we know exactly what needs to be done to get that closed quickly. But here's what happens. The make, model, and serial number is not on the outside of the house in big, bright green letters in most cases. You have to go look for it. Sometimes it's on the tongue underneath the home, you know, what they use to, the tongue that they use to drag. It's weird. It's a weird thing to call a tongue when they used it to drag the home up there. But anyway, sometimes it's on the tongue underneath the house. A lot of times it's in the cabinets. You'll see a HUD plate maybe there that has it on there. Make, model, and serial number. But guys, I don't see a serial number, it's rubbed off, but I can see a HUD number, fine. Get us what you can get us and tell us what it is. We will try to help you find the serial number, but we need your help because guess what? Y'all don't want to pay me to go look under the home or inside the cabinets. I charge a lot for that. And listing agents, it is my humble opinion that you guys should be doing that anyway. And it's a big help. But here's the problem, and here's why you want to do it. Not just to make me happy, not just to make my life easier. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Hey, Gina. Got a lot of people in here today. You're not just doing it to make me happy so that I can certify a title, which I appreciate you doing. I appreciate you helping me with that. It helps us all. I'm the one that's going to be cutting the checks, so I appreciate you helping me get there. But it's going to help you out because I promise you, as sure as you take on a mobile home listing, eventually it's going to happen to you. We're going to be 2 or 3 weeks into the process, and we're going to say, hey, Frank, did you get our email about that make, model? And if Frank's watching, this is not at Frank. That's just a name I picked. Hey, Chris, thanks for watching. Hey, Frank, we sent that email asking you for the make, model, and serial number. We hadn't heard back. Can you get that to us? Frank's going to say, I don't have it. And we're going to say, well, you're the listing agent, Frank. I mean, should we ask someone else? We can ask the seller if they, I don't know. But, you have it. I didn't find it. Okay. Is that real? Did you look? Because I've seen plenty of times where I've said, hey, we got to have it. And all of a sudden here it is. Or the buyer's agent goes and finds it. So we need it. We need it. Now, the reason you want to look, the reason you actually want to really look, hey, Jen, thanks for watching. The reason you want to look for this is because if we can't find it, if it literally isn't there, we may have options, right? We may have options on what we can do. But if you guys don't give me time to explore those options with you, guess what you're doing? Not me, you. You're going to delay closing, and it may not even happen. The buyer may say, I was on the fence about this anyway. Y'all can't give clear title. You're out of your grace period. I'm out of here. And I want my due diligence and earnest money back. And I want costs back. And I'm legally entitled because you just breached contract. And it could go that way. I know it doesn't very often, but it could. Look, whether it goes that way or not, guess what you don't want to be? You don't want to be the agent that didn't tell your seller that they needed to have this in hand and have this ready. Because if I'm the seller, if the seller comes to me, I'm going to ask you guys to listen up. If the seller comes to me, their attorney, and says, Zeno, should I have known about this make, model, and serial number issue? Guess what I have to tell them? If I'm going to be an ethical lawyer and look out for the client, guess what I have to tell them? My opinion. That's what they're paying me to do. That's what I'm licensed to give. I'm going to say, listen, in my opinion, your agent should have had that in hand, and they should have sent that to us early, and they should have told you, yes, we're going to have that to sell. Is that fair? I don't know. Is that my opinion? Yes. And I think it's not that hard, guys, to go get that make, model, and serial number on 99% of the manufactured homes out there. But man, we don't see 50% of them actually having it sent over to us. Jen says, I've been the buyer agent that tells the listing agent it's required. Yeah. I mean, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris, has great advice. Yeah. So again, there's just so many reasons you want to do it. Again, it helps me jump on top of getting the title certified by getting it either canceled to real estate, getting it prepared to be canceled to real estate. Sometimes we do it at closing. Sometimes that DMV title's with a lien holder. I've got to make sure we can get it from them after closing, get it canceled to closing. Get canceled to real estate, excuse me. And again, if it's a loan purchase, you have to cancel it to real estate. If it's a cash purchase, the cash buyer has an option of taking his personal property. But guess what? Even then, most of them want it canceled to real estate. Okay? We can't even look to see what's going to happen with that without you telling us the make, model, and serial number. And if you don't get that ahead of time, you might be finding out a week before closing that the seller doesn't have it, that it's not on the wall. And guess what? Maybe we're out of due diligence. maybe you're supposed to close as a seller with clear marketable title, you're immediately in breach of contract. Now, you might have a few more days to clear that up, but guys, I'm here to tell you, if they've done renovations and taken that cabinet out that had that make, model, and serial number and put in a new one, and it's rubbed off on the tongue and you can't find it anywhere else, you're not going to be able to fix that in time to close. Your seller would be in breach, and the buyer could actually sue them for damages, for costs they've put into the purchase, all because you turned my video off and didn't watch about how to get that make, model, and serial number right when you agree to list that thing. And hear me on this. If you take a listing on and you don't have the make, model, and serial number, you're like, oh crap. Come to me. I'll help you. We'll get started on it before we even find a buyer. We'll see if we can't fix that. First of all, we may throw something up in the MLS listing so that we protect ourselves. Listen, we're working on this. You tell them there's a problem and you're working on it, no problem. Now look, if you're working on it, if the deck's broken but I'm fixing it, that's not going to turn away. Buyers don't want to see the deck's broken, period. They want to see the deck's broken and I'm fixing it. If you say there's a title issue with the DMV, but we're fixing it, you're not going to turn away most buyers. But anyway, you got to admit it and get me started on it early so that we can have it done. Maybe we get it fixed and you can take that out of your listing, or you can post it then, or whatever. But again, it gives us time to work on it. And I'm just telling you guys, probably most of you watching this don't do this, but most of the I don't know if it's most. It sure seems like 51% though. A lot of the manufactured home closings we get, we have to pull like a tooth the make, model, and serial number information out of the listing agent because they either didn't go look for it, they can't find it, and they just said, I can't find it, so I'll worry about it later. We'll see if the attorney brings it up. He's going to bring it up. She's going to bring it up. Yeah, thanks, Gina. We can help fix it on the front end, even before contract. Hey, Clarissa, good to see you again from earlier today, one of our great panelists today. Hey, Melissa. So just keep that in mind. First of all, text and call me if you have questions about manufactured homes. You don't have to have a contract you're getting ready to write. Just ask me. I'm happy to help. I come on here to do these things because I like helping. So text and call me. My cell number's everywhere. If you don't have it, message me. I'll get it to you. But biggest lesson here, guys, if you're listing a manufactured home, please make sure one of your first steps is getting the make, model, and serial number on paper in the listing over to the attorney once you're under contract. And if you can't do that, tag me in, coach. It's free. I'm here to help. It doesn't cost you a dime. Why are you doing this to yourself? Reach out to me. I'll help. Let's come up with options before it even goes under contract. So that's the long and short of it. Hope you have a good Thursday. It's raining. I'm probably going to watch a movie or play some video games because I'm a child, and maybe have some dinner. But I hope you guys will hear what I had to say about the manufactured homes. Share them. They can bring wisdom into the group. Sorry, I just lost my connection. And really appreciate you guys being a part of this. This is a group think tank, and a lot of you are making real estate better out there, which I appreciate. You've made me better, which I appreciate. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.